Good afternoon, good afternoon, good afternoon. Thank you for joining me here for the Taz Effect, daily news in a way you did not know you could use. There is so much going on because, of course, there is. As long as Trump is the commander in chief for these here United States, we're going to have a whole lot to deal with, unfortunately. So let's get into the first story. Tennessee Republican rejects Trump's election scheme following slur against the disabled. Well, that's nothing new. I'm glad you all are finally having a hill to die on, but shouldn't this hill have been at least explored a while ago? I'm just saying. After Democrats enjoyed a wide range of victories in 2025's off-year elections, from gubernatorial races in Virginia and New Jersey to 3 Pennsylvania Supreme Court retention elections, President Donald Trump and his MAGA allies doubled down on their gerrymandering/redistricting efforts in red states. California Governor Gavin Newsom, meanwhile, is encouraging fellow Democrats to fight fire with fire by doing some gerrymandering of their own. One of the red states where Trump and other MAGA Republicans are trying to make the congressional map as gerrymandered as possible is Indiana. But according to the Independent's Eric Garcia, one Republican they won't be able to count on is Indiana State Senator Mike Bohachek. I think that's how you pronounce it. Garcia, in a late November article, reports that Bohachek said he would oppose President Donald Trump's overtures to redraw the state's congressional district lines after the president used a slur often made against people with disabilities. Attacking Minnesota Governor Tim Walz, Trump used the R word and described him as seriously and Bohachek was offended. Once again, this is nothing new for Trump. No, I'm not defending Trump whatsoever. But isn't it amazing that the same heels the rest of us jumped off the Trump? Well, we weren't even on the Trump train, but that was the part of the hill where we were like, we're going to retreat. They're finally turning around, and they're like, this is a bridge too far. It should have been a bridge too far the first time he did it. Well, why does it take 677 million times for Trump to do something for them to now go, maybe it shouldn't? Oh, you want to know why? I can tell you why. It's because the rest of you all are finally speaking up. See, when we say silence is compliance, this is what we mean. Your silence got us here. You can point fingers to any and everyone else, but your silence got us here. You being silent had MAGA believing that they were the silent majority, had Trump believing that he had the majority of the country in his back pocket, that he had a mandate. Now that you're speaking up, those that have wanted to speak up against Trump for so long are like, wait a minute, we can say something, because they were afraid they weren't going to get voted back in because you were quiet. You were giving the impression that, he likes it, you love it. You didn't think of it that way, did you? Of course you didn't. Of course you didn't. Because it is the American way to point the fingers at everybody else and wait for everybody else to do the work. Hey, Jay, for everybody else to do the work for your freedoms, for your comforts, for your everything. Now we're going to go global slightly for just a second. Remember, a few weeks back, Trump contacted the president of Israel asking for a pardon for Netanyahu. Now, before I get into the story, let me remind you all, the presidency of Israel is basically ceremonial. Think the royal family in the UK, okay? Netanyahu asked Israeli president to pardon him in corruption trial weeks after Trump sent letter over unjustified case. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has submitted an official request to his president to be pardoned over his corruption trial. The plea comes just weeks after Donald Trump sent a letter to President Isaac Herzog, urging him to fully pardon his ally. Netanyahu's major corruption trial centers around allegations of bribery and fraud. His official request to end the case consisted of two documents, a detailed letter signed by his lawyer and a second letter signed by himself. I need you to keep in mind the one thing that is not being brought up here is a verdict, is a conviction. And MAGA, I need you to take a moment and explain to me why everybody that's close to Trump, that Trump has so much adoration for, has criminal records or is on trial. And US, let this be a reminder to you all. Israel has its current prime minister on trial. It is not unconstitutional. It is not against the law. It is merely tradition in the United States not to indict or put on trial or convict a sitting president. You can do it. You can do it. So do it. So do it. Because what's going to happen right now is that people are looking at what Trump is doing, and then when he's done doing it, they're going to pick up the torch and they're going to keep pushing that finish line further and further back. They're going to be the ones picking up the goalpost and continuously moving it. Now is the time to cut them off at the knees. But I know you won't. I know you won't. You're going to sit around and wait for somebody else to do it. And then when you're sitting down talking to your grandchildren and great-grandchildren, you're going to pretend, just like your parents and grandparents do now, that you stood on the right side of history and that you had some type of participation in it, and you didn't. You're not even going to get a participation trophy for it. But let's continue. The Tel Aviv premier addressed the move with a video statement. He said, "My personal interest was to complete the legal process until the end. The military and national reality, the national interest demand otherwise, because, BB from Philly, you are keeping a war going." Nobody else is doing that. That's you. That's 100% you. That's all you, Bubba. That's all you. Ending the trial immediately would advance much needed national reconciliation. No, because the national reconciliation that the people want, the Israeli people, the settlers that aren't violent and haven't deluded themselves, is for you to stop this genocide. Not for you to no longer be on trial. It was the people that pushed for you to be on trial. You know we can see you, right? The continuation of the trial is tearing us apart from within, arousing fierce divisions, intensifying rifts. I am certain, like many others in the nation, that the immediate end to the trial will greatly help to lower the flames and promote the broad reconciliation that our country so desperately needs. His comments come as the world continues to monitor the world in Gaza, which is nearing a complete end. It's nearing a complete elimination of the Palestinian people that are still left over in Palestine. When they're talking about this war nearing an end, that's what they're talking about. Let's use the proper verbiage. No, sir. They'll do it 50 of them. That's what I'm putting together. A little pump jack tonight for them. But I love how, just like when Trump touts his legal victories, nobody says, "Oh, yes, they recognize that I'm innocent." No, didn't say anything about being innocent. Just said, the trial is a distraction. We can put a pin in it. Actually, how about we put a pin in the war? That since your trial is a distraction for the war, let's stop the war. Let's stop the genocide. How about that? Let's continue the conversation regarding Palestine. According to Pope Leo, Palestinian state only solution to Israeli conflict. No lies detected there. Aboard the papal flight to Beirut on November 30th, Pope Leo said on Sunday that the only solution in the decades long conflict between Israel and the Palestinian people must include a Palestinian state, reaffirming the Vatican's position. Because here is the thing. Here's the thing. You two-way wing nuts in the United States, you should be able to understand this because your biggest thing is if somebody were to come to my house and try to take my stuff, I have my to make sure that they can't do it. So why do you think that it is okay for people predominantly from the United States to go through crash course seminars to learn the language, learn the customs, pick whatever their favorite foods are from around the world, relabel them as Israeli, and go and take over other people's homes? Nobody ever asked the Palestinian people if they wanted to share their land with anybody else. Nobody asked them about, setting up proper immigration standards. They just put them in. What you're afraid of happening in the United States, you bigot fucktwats, is what's happening in Israel. So let's fix it. And for those of y'all that are just now kind of sort of a little bit squinting your eyes looking at a funhouse mirror and your funhouse built television screens, only looking at two different news outlets that if your Trump tells you to look at, October 7th was not the start of this. It was not. Nor is the Israel that is on the map that they are fighting fervently is for God's chosen people, for the Jewish community that has put themselves over there. Because you can convert into Judaism. You can be ethnically Jewish and not religiously Jewish. And for the love of all things holy, if you're going to read your Bible, if you're going to look at the Sky Daddy Handy Dandy Handbook, I need you to realize how many sects of Jewish people, sects, are within the Bible. And realize Christian religiously, Jewish ethnically, people is who he was talking about. And these wouldn't be people who would be strong arming a country. Because when you're returning home, you don't need a list of places and a conglomerate of people at a Zionist Congress going down the list going, can we afford to send you here? Can we afford you to send here? How much pushback are they going to give you? And then people voting on where you get to go. Because y'all do realize on this list, there are parts of Poland that right now could be listed as Israel, and y'all would be screaming that that was the Holy Land. But you all are people who think that folks that do not believe in Christ as the Messiah are his chosen people. Because you believe that there was only one sect of Jewish people in your handy dandy Sky Daddy handbook. But okay, let's continue. We all know that at this time, Israel still does not accept that solution, but we see it as the only solution. Leo, the first U.S. Pope, told journalists on a flight to from Turkey to Lebanon during his first in-flight press conference. We are also friends with Israel, and we are seeking to be a mediating voice between the two parties that might help them close in on one solution with justice for everyone, added the Pope, speaking in Italian. They don't want a solution. And the reason why they don't is because you're not dealing with the Jewish community. You're not dealing with the Jewish diaspora when you're dealing with the greater Israel. You're dealing with the Zionist diaspora. And that is the conglomerate of atheists, Christians, and Jewish people. These are people who want power, and they want to gain that power behind the shield of oppressed whiteness. Because they're not being respectful to Ethiopian Jewish individuals over there. So, of course, they don't want it. as Christian of a nation as the United States keeps trying to market itself as, you're only Christian when you want to battle somebody. Because when your Christian leaders, when your own tenets of your religion tell you what you should be doing, you fight against that faster than you fight against anything else. But coming back over here to these here, I guess, united on the map states of America. Mainstream media. You have the ability to truly do two things. One, show how incredibly stupid and disrespectful Donald Trump is with minimal effort. And two, verbally trick him into confessions. And you're not doing that. You're sitting back, allowing him to disrespect you hand over foot. And it's ridiculous. Trump unleashes latest insult at female reporter as he says he will release MRI results. And MAGA, stop talking about the tolerant left. I don't know who the fuck on the left said that anybody was tolerant. Being respectful to those that are respectful is not tolerant. I mean, I guess technically those that are not on the right are tolerant of you all because unlike you, we haven't called for your elimination or deportation. But you all tolerate the most egregious, violent rhetoric and acts. But I digress. President Donald Trump. President Donald Trump has insulted another female reporter after he was asked about releasing the results of an MRI test that he announced he had taken earlier this month. He doesn't even know what he's supposed to keep secret and keep hush hush. He is really proud of this testing that he's going through because he really thinks that it's like a passing thing. Like it's showing that, he's the greatest to ever do it. And his family it's just letting him do it. But okay. The president took questions from reporters aboard Air Force One Sunday night as he returned to Washington, D.C. from his Mar-a-Lago estate in Florida, where he had celebrated Thanksgiving. Trump was asked about recent calls by Minnesota governor and former vice presidential candidate Tim Walz to release his MRI results after the president used an ableist slur in a long, rambling Truth Social post on Thanksgiving Day, calling the lawmaker seriously R-worded. The president claimed, as he has done multiple times, that he had aced a cognitive test, but told the reporter that she would be incapable of doing the same. I know a dead rat right now that could score higher than Trump could. What does that mean? It came after a male reporter asked Trump, It came after a male reporter asked Trump that Governor Walz called for the release of your MRI results. They were perfect, like my phone call where I got impeached. Absolutely perfect, the president replied. If you want to have it released, I'll release it. You were impeached over a phone call. That's not a perfect you know what? It perfectly showcased your guilt, so I guess technically you're right. The female reporter, who was not identified, then asked, "Can you tell us what they were looking at?" prompting Trump to respond, "For what? Releasing?" I don't think he went to school nowhere.
And if he did, he didn't learn nothing.
He has such staunch mommy issues that he does not listen. He does not pay attention to what women are actually saying to him. And women and femme presenting individuals that may be watching or listening out there, you know what I mean. We have all encountered that man, that male presenting individual that is so dead set on us being wrong. They need for us to be wrong, that they don't really pay attention to what we're saying. And when I say he has mommy issues, this isn't just from his mother. Y'all need to realize the true history of Donald Trump. I know the origin stories that y'all have been fed, that y'all seem to gobble up because I see y'all regurgitating it all the time. First of all, the Trump family did not come over here with a silver spoon in their mouth. He did not grow up with a silver spoon. His father was a slumlord. The first time the family started turning a profit was when his grandmother took over the family's properties and started putting rental properties and laundromats for residual income on the properties after his grandfather passed away of pneumonia. Yes, the same type of pneumonia that he teased and ridiculed and bullied Hillary Rodham Clinton for having and surviving, because she better than me. I would have been like, yeah, I got pneumonia, so we have to delay this debate. At least we just have to delay it for a couple weeks. Your grandfather had to delay every debate forever. What color shoes did he have on in that casket? Oh, that's right. Y'all were too poor to put shoes on him. Was he even embalmed? Oh, that's right. Y'all couldn't afford that. I would have went below hell. I would have dug up hell and put it in his lap. Okay, then fast forward to, he wasn't the businessman his brother was, or his sister-in-law. He wasn't even the businessman that his first wife was. She stayed afloat and she ended up living the life that he wanted. She paid for sausage like he wanted to pay for Cuda biscuit. And she said infamously on an Entertainment Tonight interview with Miss Mary Hart that yes, I'm not looking for love. If I want some companionship, she pays a lot of money out. She has a nice little piece of eye candy that was going to be younger than her with washboard abs to come live with her for a little bit and wax her poetic till she got done and they could go off. Every single woman around him is a better businesswoman than him. This is why he's slick, is skipping over his sons and going to the daughter-in-laws. He doesn't like to admit it, and he wants to give the impression that he can manipulate these women, but he can't. And the only reason he's doubting on Barron is because he knows Barron is the gateway to get Melania to do stuff. Melania is the quintessential boy mom. She's like, I'm one and done. I got my boy who's going to love me, love me, love me down forever. Because, you know, they say, oh, boys are more loyal to their mothers. But no, ain't no way he's going to call me a pig and talk down to me. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Okay. Because as soon as he would have said that, I would have already had a makeup wipe in my hand and was like, in one full, I could trip and in one swipe, I could take away your whole personality. Leave me alone. I keep a fan. Okay. A motorized fan in my purse. I'd have pulled it out and whisked that nasty, nasty, lightweight toupee to the other side. You heard me. Y'all got degrees. Okay. And all he got is the grit building up in his britches. How are y'all taking an L from a man who couldn't even spell L? And yes, I know it's one letter. I need you to catch what I'm putting down. Cause ain't no way. Ain't no way. Mm-mm. 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 And speaking of the MRI results, you didn't think that we were just gonna talk about it and skate past it, did you? I hope not, because this don't look like a skating rink. Let's go. Trump October MRI results were perfectly normal, White House said. Okay, and I am perfectly a 7 foot, 350 man with a luscious beard.
I'm only 6'3", 266.
I don't know if y'all can hear him in the background or not. Probably TikTok can, but I don't know if everybody else can. Here are the key points. Whew. The White House on Monday released new details about President Donald Trump's October MRI. Trump's physician, Dr. Sean Barabella, said the cardiovascular and abdominal imaging was perfectly normal with no signs of arterial narrowing, inflammation, or organ concerns. And I got an undercarriage that could give Ron Jeremy a run for his money. Absolutely the fuck not. Minnesota Governor Tim Walz urged Trump to release the MRI results after Trump attacked the state's Somali community in a Thanksgiving post. You know, for folks like Trump that believe that they are so superior, why are y'all concerned about who you believe is an underling? Because I'm not gonna lie, I'm not one of them people that's like, oh, I don't believe that I'm better than anyone. I got a list of motherfuckers that I believe that I'm better than. I do. I do. If you touch kids inappropriately, I believe that I'm better than you. If you out here abusing people, I believe I'm better than you. If you out here stealing from or putting your hands on the elderly unprovoked, there are some elderly people that just because elderly is there don't mean that they wouldn't fuck you up. That I believe, like you out here intimately assaulting people, I believe I'm better than you. You want to know what I don't do? Sit around and think about them. They don't get to rent any space in my head, and they definitely ain't gonna be there rent free. They are denied. They are denied before they even get halfway up the block to my head. Okay. Mm-mm. 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 So racist, white supremacy. Why are y'all always concerned about the people that you claim are beneath you? Make it make sense. Make it make sense. The White House on Monday released new details about President Donald Trump's October MRI, offering a more comprehensive explanation for the procedure after questions about why the 79-year-old underwent advanced imaging at Walter Reed National Military Medical Center. See, Trump keeps putting them in a position where they got to lie because he said release them. Giving me a description or a synopsis isn't a release. Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt, this is how we know this is a lie. This how we, Jesus. You know, when you pop a pimple, you're supposed to like smear it on a tissue or something and throw it away. You're not supposed to pop the pimple and then make it your press secretary. I'm just saying. Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt read aloud from a summary during the daily press briefing, saying the MRI was part of Trump's comprehensive executive physical. No, it's not. And was ordered because men in his age group benefit from a thorough evaluation of cardiovascular and abdominal health. That's bullshit. That is bullshit because when, due to his age, Joseph Robinette Biden, it was advised that he undergo additional testing. What's he hiding? Oh my God, that's not normal. That's not. But at least they were transparent. Oh, you can't tell that. You can't tell me that heifer ain't a pop pimple in a dress. Nah, but that is a pop pimple in a dress. My mom used to pop pimples for people all the time. I know what they. See, when you don't throw it away, it starts growing limbs. We see it. Now she walking around terrorizing us and things. Shit. The White House described the imaging as routine and preventative, meant to identify potential issues early and confirm overall function. If this was a concern, or if this is a concern, shouldn't he be deemed unfit and removed? Shouldn't he be Article 25? I'm just. Oh, update. The son of El Chapo has agreed to plead guilty in the city of Chicago. Yes, that is a change of plea from before. I mean, he knew he was slanging what he was slanging. I can't say it because the last time I talked about him on here, all of our shit kept getting bananas week after week. So, my bad, son of El Chapo. I ain't say nothing bad about you. It was factual. We ain't got no beef. We don't know each other, I don't think. No, I don't think we ever crossed paths. And if we did, you didn't take my snacks. So you all good with me. I don't do what you do. I don't. Okay. The White House described the imaging as routine and preventative, meant to identify potential issues early and confirm overall function. According to Trump's physician, Dr. Sean Barabella, the cardiovascular imaging shows no signs of arterial narrowing, impaired blood flow, or abnormalities in the heart or major vessels. What's going on in that head? What's going on in them legs? Why are the extremities easily bruising and swelling like they are? And you're going to tell me, with all of the signs of a stroke and cardiovascular issues, you're going to tell us, like we can't see what's going on, that he's perfectly normal. Now, I realize that there are quite a few of us, that need a little assistance seeing, but we could still see. I ain't got the best eyesight, but I'm pretty sure that even if I was standing at the tippy top of Venus or Uranus, I could see this the bullshit. This the bullshit. Yeah, we know it's not Mountain Dew. He found that the heart chambers were normal in size. The vessel walls appeared smooth and healthy. Okay. And there was no indication of inflammation or clotting. Dr. Bertabella also reported that all major organs appeared healthy and well perfused, with no acute or chronic concerns detected. Dr. Barabella, I hope you enjoy having Trump as a patient, because I don't think you're going to have many other patients after this. I don't think you are. The last doctor that lied for Trump, well, he became a congressman. Maybe that is your plan, your next move, because baby, they won't come to you. You gonna lie your way out of the career you chose, because nobody's gonna believe that you will help them out. Like, come on. Like, y'all really have to stop tanking your careers, especially careers that are so specialized that what else you gonna do? Like, your restart, ain't nobody gonna want you consulting. You know what? Well, they don't ask paper or plastic anymore. They just said, would you like a bag? Would this be cash or card? Swipe, tap, or insert when ready. Like that's what you're gonna be doing. Or, maybe some AI company will, hire you to pretend to give medical advice. Like, hello, this is your AI physician, Web AI MD. How can we help you? Oh, yes, you noticed a small rash on your left ankle. Ah, what does that mean? You're dying. Thank you for coming. We'll see you tomorrow, if you make it. All right. Please put in credit card information. This consultation was $59.95 plus handling. The handling is a convenience fee. Thank you. Like, yeah, chicken. I think it's lupus also, but he definitely had a stroke because he's under the stroke follow-up protocol. Barabella described the president's cardiovascular system as being in excellent health. Yeah, and I got 20/20 vision. Mm-hmm. 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 Yeah. Despite Leavitt's detailing of the MRI and subsequent release of the memo summarizing the MRI results from Dr. Barabella, the White House stopped short of releasing images of the test. Run it back, Trump. That's what you said. You said you would release the MRI. Not a summary of the report, because why can't we have the original dictated report? I told you I used to work in imaging. Why can't we have the images and the original dictated report? Trump better be glad HIPAA exists now. And for some of y'all, let's get this straight, because some of y'all think that HIPAA has always been a thing. Nope, I'm older than HIPAA. I went through the very first ever rounds of HIPAA training. because y'all focus on certain aspects of HIPAA, but there's other things in HIPAA that you as the patient have control over. Like y'all can legally have stuff removed from your medical records. I don't advise it, but you can. And there's nothing they can do about it. Until Monday, the White House only described the October Walter Reed visit as a follow-up evaluation that included advanced imaging, offering no explanation for why the procedure was done because he had a stroke. He's under post-stroke protocol. Yeah, it was about that time because that's when, well, you know this chicken. That's when I was still working at the hospital. And when I say we went through like quite a few days of hours long of training, because I remember I was happy to get paid for it, but we had to go in. I had to go in a couple days on my days off, and that's when I had split ships from two different departments at the time, so I really wasn't. And when I say days off, it was like a day off from one department and not the other. So I was running on air. Now I will say, as a bonus, little companies that would come in to the hospitals like for scrubs and stuff, they did give us a stipend for so much money to get, scrubs from there. So that was a plus, and we did get a free lunch. Oh, yeah. To see the police officer. Which police officer? I've been sent so many police officer videos in the past 72 hours. I just don't want to be like, yeah, I saw it. And I'm thinking of that. Oh, yeah, was a crime. Yeah, they always want to say that. And here's the thing. Police officers should have to know the basic laws for their jurisdiction. I believe that. Yeah, it wasn't a thing because it wasn't even a thing when I was pregnant with my first child, which kind of ticked me off because you get to that anticipation part and people like, oh, is the baby here yet? Is the baby here yet? And they started calling my doctor to see if I had gone into labor because I took the phone off the hook because I just couldn't take it anymore. The release came as scrutiny of the MRI intensified over the weekend after Minnesota Governor Tim Walz, Democratic nominee for vice president alongside Kamala Harris in the 2024 election, called on Trump to release the results, reacting to a Thanksgiving Truth Social post in which Trump attacked Walz, the state's Somali community, and Representative Ilhan Omar, Democrat out of Minnesota. Has anyone in the history of the world ever had an MRI assigned to them and have no idea what it is for, he says. Walz later said in an interview with NBC's Meet the Press. That is, that is true, but we have to realize, once again, I'm going to tell y'all something. Stop giving Trump so much credit. Y'all keep acting like Trump's smart. We have had many a POTUS that technically have been incapacitated, and first ladies, etc., have stepped up to cover for them. There's speculation that some first ladies were, for all intents and purposes, the president for quite a few months. And since MAGA loves Ronald Reagan, Nancy Reagan, yes, Pearl Necklace Nancy, did everything she could to shield Reagan's decline from the public. Like, you want to shield the legacy. Trump is showing that he is not even likable by his family. And I'm not saying anybody has a perfect family, okay? Everybody has that core portion of their family or the family that they have gathered along the way that they're good with, that every day isn't perfect, but even if you argue, fuss, and fight, y'all can fight at 2:00. And if something popped off with you and you needed them at 2:05, they're going to be there. Cool. But do you know how devastated I would be if something happened or I'm publicly having a decline? I am publicly unraveling, and no one came to me to say, you know what, you need to step away from this. This is what we need to have done. We need to have this testing for this reason. Let somebody else handle it. Like, oh yeah, she definitely hates him. And it's like, now, I don't like melanoma, okay? Melanoma don't like us. But melanoma got the biggest dupe out of everybody. She got manipulated. She truly thought because of all the Forbes stuff that Trump was lying. And Forbes, y'all, your journalistic integrity is forever tainted with me. Okay. Um, Now I do realize there's new staff from back when y'all were just letting people call in and be like, yeah, I got this amount of money. Put me on this. Da, 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 da. But she's looking at all that. Trump's telling her all this. She's looking at all the glitz and glamour, not realizing that it's just gold plated. Okay. She's thinking, oh yeah, I'm about to, you know, have the ultimate escort come up. You know, and then she's like, oh, shoot, I'm not. She had to play the long game because then Celebrity Apprentice happened and he was finally turning a profit instead of bleeding money. And she's like, okay, I can stick around. But Trump does not see things through. So there's a pivot down. Then he'd come up with another business that, because of the nuance, it would go back up. Then he linked up with Comedy Central to get roasted because those people get paid to get roasted. She's like, okay. Then it goes back down. Then he's like, well, I got this idea. We'll make all this money running for president. I won't win. You don't have to worry about it. But these people seem to love giving me their money. And she's like, oh, we got the money, Donald. We got the money. Ooh, melanoma's going to make it. And then she started realizing, oh, people want stuff from me too. I can join in on the grid. And then he actually made it into the White House and she was pissed. That's when she renegotiated her prenup. But that girl was manipulative. Now, I think it's funny. But hey, if you lead with your wallet, you can't get pissy when that's what you get. And that goes for all of them because all of these incel, red pill, alpha male dudes, like, women just want, they're just gold diggers. First of all, y'all don't have no gold to dig, but y'all always lead with the man should be the provider. I'm a provider, but let's go 50-50 on everything but the chores, the emotional labor, and everything else. You're sitting here saying, well, you know what? I'd rather go get a chick from overseas and bring her and take care of her. You're leading with your wallet. And then you're upset because these women are following as long as the wallet is walleting. Okay. First of all, nobody ever said melanoma could decorate. See, people were looking at when they were doing the Barbara Walters interviews and during tours of their condos, plural, of Trump Tower. Folks thought that she didn't decorate that stuff. All of that stuff. If you notice, wife after wife after wife, how that nothing changed, it's because Trump was decorating. Look at how she dresses. That girl ain't got no style. She's trying to poorly recreate Jackie O. And only reason she's doing that is because of what people put in her head as to who she reminds them of. She can't decorate. She can't decorate at all. Like sister girl, she and you might want to look into where she come from. Nobody's like, oh yes, I need that Slovenian chic look. Like, and no hate, no shade to Slovenia, okay, none whatsoever. But you're not you're not known for this. Like, I don't know why people thought that she had this incredible. No, no, no. And you can tell when she's not getting the staff to do it. Because somebody was like, she decorates like here, damn. Yeah. She likes things organized, simple, and something that she can do herself. She has never come off as a complex individual to me, ever. Yes, most of them are walking hangers. And as a former one, I can say this. You're not, especially for runway. Now, there are some print models that, yes, you kind of have to have more creativity, more things like, because they want you to tell a story with the pictures and be able to contort yourself and bring some artistry into it, like grab a hold of their vision and go with it. But you're not really looking for a rogue scholar in a model. I'm not saying that you can't find one in a model. I'm not saying that there aren't some brilliant individuals who use modeling to get to where they need to be. Not saying that at all. But it's a very aesthetic forward career. They don't care what's behind your eyes. And also, stop thinking that because somebody can be dressed well by a stylist, by a designer, that they have fashion sense. No, no. Just like I tell people, just because somebody can do their makeup well doesn't mean that they can do yours. Like somebody will learn how to do their makeup and then all of a sudden think that, oh, I can go into business doing it. Two different skill types. And everybody doesn't want to look like how you do your makeup. And that's no tea, no shade. That's the truth. I can admire how you do your makeup, but not want it for myself. That doesn't mean that it doesn't look gorgeous on you. That just means it does not work for me. But a lot of people get it twisted. No, just because somebody puts an outfit on you and styles you impeccably, no. Just like it kills me when some of y'all see celebrities in their natural habitat. You're like, "Ah, that's how they dress." Yeah, any other time somebody else is dressing them. They are not their character outside of Susan Baranski, because I do believe that she has a clause to never have bad wardrobe, like ever, like ever. So that's the caveat. But they're not dressing them like. Mm-mm. Yeah, not everybody wants to look like Mimi from Drew Carey's show. You got that right. Because I know somebody who started like practicing on their makeup and then they started taking clients, and I'm like, I wouldn't have paid for this. And not saying that they aren't good. Don't say, oh, Taz, you're jealous. No, no, no. If you're going to pay for a service, yes, you can pay for it out of convenience, but when it comes to makeup, generally people are paying to get their makeup done. The average person, okay, because of a special occasion. If my special occasion makeup looks exactly like how I can do my day-to-day makeup, what the did I pay you for? Now, I know somebody else who studied makeup, but they studied it from all perspectives: how to do their own, how to do other people's makeup, how they looked up different techniques, how different lightings affected makeup. And baby, when she started her business, I don't even know if she still does makeup. The clients that she took on, you could tell she had conversations with the clients. She learned, about their skin, their undertone colors, and everything. Every look, if you did not know her and watch, like she started putting up videos, if you didn't watch her do the makeup, you would think that 20 different makeup artists worked on 20 different people. She could literally morph her technique to the people. That's how you do it. But just putting some makeup on yourself and calling it, no, absolutely not. But Trump and his, as I call, auto pardon pen are at it again. And why do I say that? First of all, y'all need to stop assuming that Trump knows all these people who are getting pardons. They're not. I told you at the very beginning of this current administration that there are a whole bunch of Svengalis with their hand up Trump's Gucci cat trying to get what they can out of him for whoever that they can. Okay. All of the billionaires and business people that Donald Trump has pardoned, because he recently pardoned somebody else. President Donald Trump has granted clemency to more than 1,600 people this year. The list includes several notable business people, including billionaire Changpeng Zhao and Nikola founder Trevor Milton. Many of these pardoned have supported Trump or his policies. 1,600 people. Now, per tradition, presidents generally pardon at the end of each year or just at the end of their term. It seems like we take 15 business blinks and poof, somebody else is getting pardoned. And here's the thing. Before you go, well, yeah, he needs allies. These people aren't allies to him. They know how to play him. He's not the one getting a benefit out of any of this. And once again, no, not defending Trump, but the facts are the facts, and that's what we need to stick to, and that's what we need to discuss. Other people are getting benefits from it. So instead of focusing on the conspiracy theory that Trump is getting it, look at who these people are tied to. Look at the allegiances that are being formed right under Trump's nose. Because there are certain people right now, as the MAGA faction of the GOP is being eaten by the greater GOP, there are people who are cool as a cucumber right now that are not panicking. And there's a reason for that. Also, once again, I've made my link tree a little easier to follow. I've broken things up into categories so you can swoop through it. But if you go over to my Substack, please subscribe. I am breaking down the different factions of the GOP. And right now, because I won't update it again until tomorrow, just to give people some more time to take a look at this. If you want to know how we got here, if you want to know who was the biggest contributor to how we got here, how we got to MAGA, go look up the Birchers, aka Bircherism, aka JBS, aka the John Birch Society. It is over on my Substack. Also, for those that are unaware, I have an open discussion every Monday and a history class every Saturday. If you want to subscribe to my Substack and participate in all of the classes, my payables are in my link tree. Just add your Substack name and click the free subscribe to me for $50 a month. If you send that directly to me, you will have access to both of the courses, the open discussion and the class, and all of my Substack subscriber only content, because I can just open the portal from my end if you are interested in that. Also, to help keep the lights on, Taz merch is available, and you can also subscribe to me on TikTok as well for additional content. And if you're not subscribed on YouTube, why not? And please, as always, try to go over and watch a video or two or three a week on YouTube. If you could, it really, really, really does go a long way. Like this. Or 10. Yeah, Jay, or 10. And that's what we have for today. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you for joining me here for the Taz Effect. And do not forget that this week we are slowly making our transition onto being available on GCPR.live, the radio. So you will be able to just listen if you're at work and you just want to pop some headphones on or pop your earphones on. There's an updated GCPR schedule pinned to the top of my TikTok page. I will put it over on YouTube. And if you're not on Upscrolled, make sure you get over there and follow your girl. I'll put it everywhere that it's supposed to be. And I will try to get my schedule out so you all can keep up with that. Otherwise, you can, ladies, you can join the Signal chat and stay up to date on everything. Otherwise, if you are joining today's open discussion on race, I will see you all there. Other than that, later on tonight, I will see you all for 107 Days with Kamala Harris, and then over on YouTube to pick up on the Kirk conspiracy. Yeah, we're back and rolling. What? All righty. As always, each one teach one, each one reach one. Go out, get into some good trouble, but nothing that requires bail, at least not in this economy. And keep in mind, it only requires bail should you get caught.